Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? Let's get this podcast rolling because I don't want to be in the studio all night. Yes, it's night, Friday. Come on now. My Shabbat technically started already, so I want to get in and get out. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Single Chronicles. I'm your girl R.S. Lewis, aka Insomniac Writer, and today we're talking about priorities in dating because a lot of y'all mofos be having them all twisted. Yeah, I peeped that and I just be like, anyway, if you're new here, make sure you save, favorite, or heart this podcast however you can, wherever you're listening, so that you can be notified of new episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, but hit that bell to be notified because the algorithm is a thing, and if you're not hitting that bell, you're not getting the notifications, you won't know when new videos comes up. And that goes for trailer reactions, Zumba videos, you name it. I'm all over YouTube. Anyway, for everybody else, welcome to the Single Chronicles. Hey. Guess what? This is episode 75. 75 episodes of the Single Chronicles. And that's not including drafts, things that were moved, things that, didn't make the cut or whatever the case might be. But this is 75 posted episodes that are live and just out there. And I just want to say thank y'all. 3 seasons, 75 episodes, new followers, some people that fell off and came back, whatever, supporters. I want to thank you. To keep this thing going, to keep us growing, and I know I turned off my Patreon account, but I want to point out something to everyone. This podcast, you can support this podcast by several ways. And this, yes, y'all going to get, the televangelist rose right now. There, down in the bottom of the description somewhere, there's a link that says to support this podcast because it's not free. I do the most no-frill stuff that I can do for this podcast to keep it going, but things are getting more expensive, so you can become a subscriber, a monthly subscriber and supporter, and guess what? You get a freebie. You'll get like a t-shirt, a Single Chronicles t-shirt. To all of my monetary supporters, my monthly supporters, you get a Single Chronicles t-shirt, but you gotta emphasize which one you want because you got the girl, the guy, 2 girls, 2 guys, so I gotta be all inclusive. But I'm happy. It's like, yes, 75 freaking episodes. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you. And then there's also Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, with all that stuff. I think I'm at Zumba Twerkout Rose because I do teach classes and stuff. But I'm going to leave all that information down below. And I hate to ask people for money, but hey, it is what it is. And if you ain't got it, I understand. Look, times is hard for everybody right now. We got the war, got gas prices astronomically high, food is high, people still ain't get back to work. It's a lot of stuff, I understand. But what you can do for free, you can share this podcast. You got friends that are single, you got friends that's going through some stuff. Share this podcast with at least 2 or 3 people that you know. Or post a link up on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't take anything to share. I try to share stuff. Every month I try to pick a entrepreneur and bless them with a free promo. So we can all help each other. It's about collective community, recycling our dollar, putting it back. If you like what you see here, let's keep it going. All right, enough about that. Yeah, because for the matter of fact, for less than what's on the dollar menu at McDonald's, you can support this podcast monthly. $1 a month, 99 cents. There's no minimum, for listenership. You do whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's talk about priorities in dating. Speaking of priorities, it came to my attention. A lot of people are worried about the wrong shit. Y'all stressing over stuff that's not even important, and you worried about being single? And I've talked Single Chronicles the podcast, season 1, but this was something I constantly talked about. If your credit score is under 700, I'm gonna be generous. If it's under 650, dating is the least of your worries right now. If your bank account is negative, dating is the least of your worries right now. if you have more than one preventable disease. Shit, if you have one, dating is the least of your priorities right now. And I'm coming at y'all hard today. I really am, because I have a friend who's talking about, yeah, this person does this and he's doing these dating apps and stuff, and I just be like, Jesus H Christ, why? Why? Right now, I'm like, what's your credit score is? And he was like, five. You about to say five what? Five. You better say five. I was like, are you going to say fire? And he's like, no, it's 590. No, you worried about a fucking date with a 5 and anything? Bruh, you ain't even in the 600s. That's like, the 600s, that's a large gap. Like, 650 is like average. Like, yo, bro, like, are you serious? Oh shit, my Fitbit just went off, told me I need some steps. I don't know, maybe my arms is like welling, but I did do a lot of walking today. Anyway, you worried about about getting your rocks off or finding a date, and I'm not, like I said, money is not a prerequisite for dating and in a relationship. It's not. But if you are by yourself right now, and this is to my single friends and fam, if you are not investing in you and bettering your health, your financial fitness, your physical fitness, your emotional and mental fitness, kids if you have any, the fuck are you worried about dating somebody for? What in the entire hell are you worried about finding a mate when you can't even, you need a cosigner? You know what I mean? You need a cosigner. And I'm not talking about like for a house or a car. Not even for a car. You can't even you got a co-sign on like a early 2000s, late 90s car from a dealership. Like, yo, if you can't even get a car off the lot that don't cost no more than $5,000 without a co-signer, you seriously need to get your priorities in order. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong, like, I got some debt. My credit score is high, but I still got some debt I gotta pay. I got student loans, I got credit cards, I got other personal shit. So, I took a business loan out that for, the business endeavor that I did a couple years ago. I had the designated drivers. I had some other stuff going on, and things didn't fall through. But I still had to pay that money back. So I think I got like one more payment left, and I'm like, done. That shit's done in like April or May. I'm like, one less thing to worry about. But anyway, regardless of such, like, we are worried about the wrong fucking shit. And it just baffles me. Then you got people that are in relationships. They also worried about some wrong shit. Yo, if you are unhappy in your relationship or any facet of your life, whether you're with somebody or not, a new relationship is not going to be the answer to your problems. I guarantee you. I wager my left ovary and my right tit that whatever you got going on in your life that's fucked up with your mate is not going to be fixed by replacing them. Not until you get your shit in order, because that same issue is probably going to follow you into the new relationship, because we tend to go after the same types of people constantly and consistently. And before we say anything, we think like, oh, here she go judging. No, I'm not judging. We tend to go after what we're used to. So if you're not used to love, if you got some unresolved traumas from your childhood, which I constantly talk about, if you got some unresolved issues from some past relationships, whatever the case might be, if you haven't gotten over that and healed from that shit gonna follow you. Oop, I need lights.
Emotional damage.
A little bit light there. I just don't understand. Like, we really be on that type time, and I be like, yo, get your house in order first. So I just had to point that out. Like, it's some of y'all out here that's worrying about sex, getting laid. You ain't got a place to take them to. Like, yo, bruh, we can't bang in the house. I can understand you got kids and all that other stuff. Oh, my kid is there, yada, yada, yada. All right, that's fine. I understand that. Because I was a single mom and I was trying to date. No, unless I got a babysitter, my kid is at like grandparents or her godparents or something like that. No. But if you just don't have a place to go, like, unless you're doing like the hotel thing, all right, whatever. That's what you want to do. If you got the money for that, rock out with your cock out, literally. But No, bro. Like, and sister girl, it's some things that y'all not dealing with. And it shows that y'all lack self-love. Y'all ain't listening to me. When I say love yourself, I really mean that shit. Y'all ain't loving yourselves. And it's clear when you look at the types of people you're gravitating towards. I'm one. I can't really judge because ding 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 ding, I'm not only a member, I'm the president. You know what I mean? Like, I loving yourself is not easy to do. It's probably really hard. It's easy to love somebody else. It's easy to chase love. It's easy to want them to love you, but it's really hard to fucking love yourself. First of all, we're so worried about being self-consumed. We're worried about being selfish, conceited, self-centered, whatever. Like, we're worried about all those self and then negative words, that connotations that come after the word self. That's what we be so worried about. When I'm like, fuck it. If you think, like, I had somebody not too long ago, very, very recently, point out, like, he was talking about, like, the whole dating thing, getting together and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I got shit to do. I got a business to run. I got, things that I need to handle. I didn't pursue you. I'm not trying to pursue you or anybody else. So unless you got a solution to making me and my business prosper, like, the fuck do I want to be dating right now for? It's like, don't get me wrong. I want to date. I want to have a relationship, maybe even have another child before these eggs dry up. But what I'm not going to do is subject myself to the fucktivity that I had before, because I had an unplanned pregnancy, debt, all this stuff, money problems. Like, I don't want any of that anymore. Like, nobody who wants to keep that and then be like, oh, well, as long as I got you, babe. Like, I understand the whole for better, worse, richer, poorer, sickness and health. That's all fine and dandy with me, but I would like to have the better of those options before the relationship starts. One thing, shit gets in the way, life happens, tornado comes and rips your house up, root you or whatever, shit like that you can't control. But if y'all in bad situations before y'all get married, like, I don't understand it. But anyway, back to this. I got several businesses to run, and honestly, there's some things, like, there are things that I love what I'm doing. I love this podcast that I do. I love teaching the fitness classes. I love my juicing business. I love my regular 9-to-5 job. At some point, very, very soon, one of those things is going to really be put on the back burner. Why? Because that's what it's like, I don't want to boggle myself down. Sometimes I feel myself getting burnt out. And at this point in my life, I'm like, all right, I'm always about to date and, eventually finding somebody and love and stuff. But right now, I'm just building me. I'm making me happy. I'm doing things that make me happy. And this even falls, like, when I tell people I don't have time, sometimes this falls with friendships, because I'll be having friends that be like, oh, let's do such and such. Oh, you don't ever want to, because I enjoy not being check to check no more. I enjoy having money after fucking payday. Like, that's the shit I don't miss from, oh, we gotta go out every weekend and I'm blowing money on shit that I don't fucking need. Like, I don't miss that. So I say that to say this. I am at a point, like, right now, I went to my bank and I'm like, I want to buy a house. And they're like, well, what are you looking for? They asking me the typical questions. And, I'll give them the answer. This is what I'm looking for, yada, yada, yada. I'm not, like, pressed about the neighborhood. I want something that's mine, that I can say, you know what, I worked for this. Rather, I want it to build equity. That's the most important. Because whether I decide to live there or rent it out or do whatever, whether it's a storefront or whatever, I was like, I just want something that I can have, that I can call my own and be like, yo, this is what I bought. Like, nobody didn't give it to me, and it wasn't no hand-me-down or nothing like that. I want to create something for my family. Even if my daughter don't want it, she got it. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to do. That's what my grandparents attempted to do with me, and, all that other good stuff. I can get in their family business, but I'm focused on that. And that only. for right now. Don't get me wrong. If somebody come around, wife, husband, whatever, and they're like, hey, they're on that same mindset. But I haven't met anybody that's on our mindset. Like, everybody I met is either they're not worried about their physical health. So that's a big no-no. I'm sorry. If you're not even concerned a little bit about your physical health, there's no shape, way, form, or fashion we're going to work out. Because I'm going to get on your fucking nerves talking about, oh, babe, why you eating that? Why you doing that? Yo, you trying to kill yourself? Those your arteries. Don't eat that. And, like, you're going to get tired. Come on, let's go to the gym together. Why don't you come to my class? At some point, that's going to get on your nerves. Because that is not only a passion of mine, it's a career choice. That's first and foremost. Secondly, if it's somebody that is, you know, they don't understand the entrepreneurial, not saying like you have to be a business owner and an entrepreneur, but if you don't have a passion, it could be a passion. You can be like, oh, I like to paint, not for profit, but for passion. That's fine. If you don't have something that you're passionate with, if you're okay getting up, going to a job, coming back home, watch a little TV, go sleep, you're fine with that monotony of every day, day in and day out, and day in and day out. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a schedule. But if you're fine with just the status quo, working for someone else, not having no passion, not doing nothing with your life, not going to work out, because I'm always consistently wanting to grow. I'm always wanting to expand. I'm wanting to do more things. I'm wanting to discover. I have a very inquisitive mind. I like to write. Now, like my writing, as much as I love to write, that was something I got to kind of push to the side. That's not something I do every day, but you know, it's very important to me. So, you know, I'll get an article out here and there, or I'll put something on my website or whatever. But the point is that, okay, I didn't completely get rid of that passion. Right now, it's just other things that are just as important, if not more, are in front of that. So when I have the time to write, that's what I'm gonna do. Like when I take like time off from my 9 to 5 and I've done everything I needed to do. Like for real, it's not even like the passions that take up. It's promoting, trying to get engagement. It's all about the engagement on social media. Social media is probably one of the best forms of free advertising if you're not paying for ads, next to word of mouth. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, but you got to stay passionate. Like, again, if you're not passionate, like I said, don't have to be a career choice. It don't have to be an entrepreneur, business owner type mindset. But I like people that feel passionate about something. You know, you might just be like, all right, on my free time, I like to go and save the dolphins. I don't know. I don't know why I said dolphins. Dolphins are assholes. They're like the asshole jocks of the sea. But anyway, like you just want to save marine life. You don't trying to be like Jason Momoa. Let's get the plastic out. But you're passionate about something, and that's what I like. I like someone that has drive and passion. Like I said, it doesn't have to be your job. It could just be a cause, you know. But if you're just sitting here breathing, and you're just okay, and that's okay if you're just okay. I'm not knocking anybody for that. What I'm saying is that there's someone out there for everyone. And me personally, I just like people with a little bit of drive. And here's why. It's not because I want to down talk people that are just want to get by to get by. At the end of the day, I have my own thing. You have your own thing. Then during multiple points of the day in our relationship, the majority of our time is going to be spent together with our thing. You're not going to be interested in everything that I'm interested in, and vice versa. So it's good for us to have things that we still care and we're passionate about, or always been passionate about, or focused on, that we can do in the time being. Because let's just say we had the stereotypical relationship of, I like overly feminine things. Like I like ballet and opera. And ballet, opera, really girly chick flicks, stuff like that. I hate horror movies, I hate action movies, I hate violence. Let's just say I was like the girliest girl of them all. And you like all that guy stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like it too. But the point is, let's say you like it. I would feel bad you not being able to go watch football with your friends just because I don't like football. That's stupid. So, and this is why relationships don't fucking work, because first of all, y'all don't know yourself. You damn sure don't know the partner that you were with. So when that chemistry of, oh, they look so nice, she got a hot body, once that all fades the fuck away, you're like, so what are you into?
Tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Well, I'm an executive assistant at a major pet products company.
Dave, I don't want you to tell us what you do. I want you to tell us who you are.
Oh, all right. I'm a pretty good guy. I playing tennis on occasion.
Also, not your hobbies, Dave. Just simple. Tell us who you are.
Maybe you could give me an example of what a good answer would be. What did you say?
You want Lou to tell you who you are.
No, I'm a nice, easygoing man. I might be a little bit indecisive at times.
Dave, you're describing your personality. I want to know who you are.
I don't know what the hell you want me to say.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't really prioritize anything in our lives, and we don't really bother getting to know other people's priorities. And then we wonder why the shit don't work out, and we back to square one. So get your priorities together. Like we can kick it. You know what I mean? I have friends that we have nothing in common. We might have one or two things in common, or we might just be really good friends. But at the end of the day, like, we'll kick it every now and again. But the true fucking honest point, and like I said, I'm busy getting my life together. Like, I had this opportunity not too long ago. One of my students was like, I have some rental properties. I know you were looking. I remember you talked about it a couple years ago. If you want to look at some rental properties. And I'm like, it's on my affordability. You know what I mean? But I thought about it. I'm like, there's no equity in it. And I know right now is the worst fucking time to buy a house. But I was like, And I was like, well, you know, really, I want a multi-purpose type of property anyway. But it's very frustrating because I went from just trying to get the fuck out of North Philly and trying to get my own spot to really, really thinking about what I want. So when I went to the bank and I was talking to them and letting them know, you know, what I want to spend monthly as far as like a mortgage or whatever and taxes and stuff. And then I'm talking about like the things that I want out of the business, you know, because I'm applying for a loan. So a majority of this is getting someone to invest in me, like not only just having a mortgage, but getting an investor. And it's like, wow, you know, it's not really easy. So I got my proposal all together. Well, the first draft of it. And I was like, shit, I had to really think. Like, once the realtor asked me what I wanted and I looked at my proposal, I was like, you know, I think I'm going to go back to the drawing board with this and come back to it. And I say that to say this. I walked in this bank knowing, all right, I want to get a place. I didn't, even though they have more insight than I do on this particular topic, I wasn't really 100% prepared for what it was. Now, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to walk out of there with a loan with a check for a spot and off to the realtor. What I did know, however, was that, okay, I want to kind of get a feel for what I'm supposed to do. I want to see what I could get approved for with my current credit situation and with, you know, the money that I make. I want to see how far what I can do. So the lady, the folks in the bank, and they were real patient. I told them, like, this is my first time doing any of this. I guess I'm a business owner, but I want to do things right. And I want to take a bigger chance in my business. Like, I don't want to work for someone else for the rest of my life. Like, it's days when I'm at work. Don't get me wrong. I love where I work. I like the people that I work for. I love the building that I work in. It's probably the most awesome place to work in the city. But for a long time, doing payroll has just not been in. It's just, I felt like I'm just doing it because I needed a job. Like, I got bills and a kid. So, but I didn't see myself doing it forever. I just was like, all right, once she get grown and that need to take care of her and do what I got to do. Because right now it's just like, all right, paying bills. But right now I want to grind and focus on my dreams. I'm already in my 40s. So, not saying that having a relationship was going to stop any of that, but I've come across a lot of people that felt some type of way about what it is that I'm doing, because they're like, well, you just don't want to get close to nobody. It's not even about that. It's deeper than that. It's about the fact that right now, if I focus on you, that means something else is not being focused on. Now, if I do this and it don't work, fine. Or if I do it and it works out and I'm like, hey, we together, we in this together, beautiful. But again, my priorities are here. Like, there was somebody, girl that I met, she was like, yeah, about to travel. She was like, oh, you got to get your passport together, get that shit taken care of. And I was like, yeah, I know. I procrastinate. I got to renew. I'm just happy to get a whole new one at this point. But the point is that I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that. And she's worried about traveling and stuff. And like I said, that's dope. I want to do that. But I'm like, that's not the priority. You know what I mean? To just go to random trips. Like I was like, she's one of them. I got a 300 credit score. Just got money that she's not investing in anything, like you spending it on hair. Like, don't get me wrong, her money run long, but if that money wasn't there and she had to rely on like a credit or get a loan for something, it ain't gonna happen. So I want to make sure I got the money and I got the credit and that's what I wanted. So I'm at a point where, my finances, that I'm like, hey, things are looking great. But again, I want more. And I just realized people just don't really have the priorities. Like, we're worried about the wrong thing. Like, there are people that just be like, yo, I just want to feel the insides of you and sex. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, when I'm ovulating, that's one thing. But the other 3.5 weeks out of the fucking month, I'm grinding. Even then, when I'm ovulating, look, it's called sexual transmutation. If you don't know what that means, Google it. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking my energy and I'm focusing on giving you guys good episodes of the podcast. I'm focused on my Zumba and twerk out, my Love Yourself one. Right now, my wellness shop has the majority of my attention the time. Like, I'm constantly thinking about juices to help people. Right now I got an energy juice shot that I'm formulating. There are a lot of things that I'm really that has a lot of my attention. So that's where I'm at right now. And there's some hints dropped for anybody that's willing to put up with my shenanigans as far as the dating thing. Because someone's like, what are you gonna name the Single Chronicles when you if you ain't gonna be single no more? Like, once you really like find somebody and be in a relationship. And I was like, I don't know what the hell. It's probably still gonna be the Single Chronicles. I'm still gonna be talking about the shit that I went through when I was single. It's still gonna have the same target audience. I mean, I'm gonna try not to be like Mary. Y'all remember Mary J. Blige, MJB? She was always talking about, no more drama than men, and I ain't gonna cry and all that shit. And then when she got in a relationship, she was all happy, and I was like, damn, this CD is alright, but it ain't like Mary. Like, this don't feel like Mary J. It's too happy. So, like, I don't want to like let y'all down. I'm not saying that. Look, I'm glad that Mary is happy Mary, but at the same time, what made her who she was lacking. She's not singing about pain because she's not feeling that pain no more. She cool. So I don't want to be on that thing. But if that is the case, then this will just progress into something else. So anyway, I'm done. I wanted to wrap this up. I'm staying under that 30-minute mark. I had to take a sip of water. Whew. I said a lot in 25 minutes. Like, I want to just, like, talk about that. Like, yo, get y'all priorities in order. Sex and money, those things, yeah, they cool and all. But, again, if, stop worrying about what a person looks like. Because sometimes you might be missing out on a potential partner. And next week, I'm going to talk about that. Some of y'all need to stay in your lane, your looks lane, because y'all be wanting like Halle Berry in the 90s, and that y'all not that sweet. Now, and I'm not trying to be like, look, I stay in my lane. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best looking chick out here, and I never claim to be. And I'm not saying that I need to have Jason Momoa because I find him very attractive. But what I like about him really doesn't have a lot to do with looks. Yes, he looks good as far as height, weight, but he does a lot of cool shit. He's like a down-to-earth guy. Like, he's like, hey, I want to do mountain climbing and do all this crazy wild shit. But also, like, I give a fuck about the environment. So things like that is what attracts me about him. But again, I gotta stay in my lane. So yeah, that's I stay in my lane. Some of y'all want some shit. I'm here, like, yo, the stuff that I be hearing from like friends and listeners, they be like, yeah, he got to be this, that, and the third. They be like, yeah, what you bringing to the table? Mind you, the table only got 2.5 legs, and that half leg is holding on for dear life. It's just wobbling, table shaking, and I just be like, okay. Anyway, guys, let's go to the writer's reflection, because I'm done. Woo, we just gonna keep on rolling, because I'm like, yo, I have to label these episodes before, when I go later to edit them and put it in the podcast so it can go live on Monday, and then when I'm doing the podcast for, YouTube, it's like all discombobulated. But writer's reflections. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Single Chronicles. Today we talked about priorities and the things we look for in potential mates but lack in ourselves and refuse to fix or focus on. It came to my attention that a lot of my single friends are looking for love everywhere else but in the mirror. And when I say love yourself, it's not just a mantra, it's not just a slogan or something cool, hip to say, or something to put on a t-shirt. That is a true statement. Loving yourself is very hard to do. It is not easy to do, and I never claimed that it would be. Loving yourself consists on not, protecting your peace, protecting your energy, protecting your health, protecting your wealth. It's all about protecting different aspects of your life. Meanwhile, putting things in your body and exposing yourself to things that makes, those aspects of your life flourish, not diminish. So I want you guys to take a moment and ask yourself, ask yourself, where do you want to see yourself outside of a relationship? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years, 7 years, 3 years, 2 years, maybe even a few months down the road? Set a little mini goal and just ask yourself what it is you want, because at the end of the day, I guarantee you that you'll be surprised how much is just not right, and so I just want to say that, because we really do not have our priorities in order. And I guess focusing on someone else is easier than to focus on ourselves and look inward. We can ignore the problems that are wrong with us by focusing on everything else or someone else. You don't have to worry about your health, your finances, your mental health. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff when you're focused on looking for someone to be with. And the problem with that, and there's nothing wrong with looking for someone and then letting those other things fall into place. No one said that there's a specific order, but let's just say you do find someone and they're great, and then you break up a year or so down the road and you're like, well, everyone's like, well, what happened? It was a great catch. What happened? And you're like, I don't know. And then you look back and you realize you projected all your insecurities, all your traumas, everything that was wrong with you onto that person, because you did not deal with them. You didn't heal. You didn't get therapy for any of those things. And there you're like wondering why you pushed them away. And then when you go sit down in therapy and they rehash, they bring up your old emotions, they get to the root of what the problem is, because sometimes it takes a minute. It's not like getting an x-ray at the dentist or at the doctor and they see what the cause is. It's, sometimes they got to go deeper in the x-ray. Sometimes they got to go deeper than the ultrasound. Sometimes I guess it is exactly like that, because not everything is on the surface. Like, I can go to the doctor and say, my knee is bothering me. And if they look and see a bruise on my knee, like, oh, well, you must have fell and hit your knee. But that might not be the problem. It might be a blood clot. It might be something broken. It might be a tendon that's torn up. We won't know until we look and further assess. And that's all therapy does. Sometimes therapy has to go beneath the surface and beneath recent happenings, like, you're upset about a cheating mate. Well, let's go a little deeper as to, well, how long have they been cheating? What made them cheat? You know, what was going on in a relationship that made them drift off? Were you ignoring them? Were you doing, like, sometimes that accountability comes in and you're like, oh, now it makes sense. And I'm not saying it's your fault that someone else cheats. That's on them. That's not on you. Don't even let somebody blame the other person. You know, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that what made us go after the emotional inavailability and instability that that person had anyway had to be a reason. Exactly. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your patronage. Again, like I mentioned before, this was episode 75. I'm so excited. I'm happy. This is a beautiful time. The growth has been great. I've gotten new subscribers, new listeners, new followers. Make sure you are, subscribed to my YouTube channel. I know people are like, well, you stop doing the Zumba videos. And I'm not. The last Zumba video, unfortunately, there was a licensing copyright strike. So I was like, oh no, let me take that down. Because it was a video that we could not post the whole entire. And I was so hyped about the song. And I was like, oh shoot. So I'm probably going to get another one out there sooner than later. I'm going to try to probably put one, not next week, probably in the next coming weeks. And we'll have some, movie reviews. I had a movie review that I actually wrote out. But I'm thinking, maybe I'll do a review. I don't know. But anyway, and when some trailers, pop up that I see that I like, I'm definitely going to get to reacting to those. But enough of that. I want to thank you guys. I did not have a sponsor for today. But I am blessing someone. Like, I've been blessed. You guys have been supporting me, so I want to support you. If you are a small business owner, matter of fact, you don't even got to be a small business owner. I don't care what your business size is. Obviously, I'm not going to do an advertisement for like a company like the size of Microsoft or something like that. But like, if you are a local small business owner, you ain't even really got to be local, because this podcast is, you can listen to it anywhere. I have listeners in the UK. I have listeners in parts of Asia. So if you are looking for some exposure, I am giving out free promos. I usually pick a random person like once a month for free. A 60-second ad is only $20. And that's at the end of the Single Chronicles podcast. Now, if you want it at the top of the podcast where I have the Anchor sponsorship, that's $50. And you get like a minute. Oh, it goes over. Usually go over 60 seconds. But the point is that you do get that at the top of the hour, the top of the podcast. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. So take advantage of these deals. But as of right now, if you're trying to be blessed with some sponsorship, if you are trying to get blessed with some promo, holla at your girl. Shoot me a DM on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Well, not Facebook. Text me, email me, rslewis@drunkeninsomniacwriter.com. I know that's a mouthful. Just shoot me a message, and I would definitely try to reach out to you, get some information with your business, and I'll do some promo. I'm trying to bless somebody. I'm feeling great today. It's Purim. For those of the Purim, for my Jewish folks, I always say my things in Hebrew so wrong, but the point is that's all about celebrating, so yeah, that's it. That's the promo and writer's reflections all put together, and I'm probably going to have to separate and divide the two on both YouTube and Spotify, because wherever you're listening to this at. But again, thank you so much, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I would not be here without you. Like, even if I had like 3 listeners every week, even if I had like just 20, I don't care how many listeners I get. Sometimes I get like 100, sometimes I get like 10. It varies. But the point is that that's okay. All of that is okay, because there's someone out there that this is resonating with. There's someone out there that hears what I'm trying to say, and it might not pertain to them, but it might pertain to someone else, or it might pertain to some shit that affected them a while ago, and they look back and say, "Oh wow, that's why I did what I did." Whatever. Or sometimes you just come for the entertainment and listening to my shenanigans. Yeah. It is what it is. Next week, I got a confession. I got a story to tell next week. So stay tuned for that, y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all what it's about, but I got a juicy one. Cause my life is just low key as I wanted to be. It's never not. Anyway, guys, take care. I'm out of here. Be awesome. Be you. But above all else, love yourself. All right, I'm out. Stop recording there. And bye.